I'm so glad you found your way here. Your brain is creating entire worlds right now while you rest. Landscapes, conversations, people you've never met, all generated from within. Tonight, you'll discover what these nightly visions reveal about your hidden self. And by the end, you'll understand why your dreams are messages from the deepest part of you. Welcome to Psychology for Sleep. Wherever you are right now, perhaps wondering about a strange dream from last night, or feeling curious about why certain images return again and again, allow yourself this gentle exploration. We'll journey through 100 psychology facts about what dreams reveal, from the surface reflections of daily life to the symbolic language of your unconscious, to the moment you recognize yourself in the mirror of sleep. This thoughtful journey through consciousness builds bridges between searching minds. A gentle subscribe, like, or sharing your thoughts creates a pathway for more dream seekers to discover and brings us closer to protect this sanctuary. One sleepy soul at a time. Your journey inspires ours. Let yourself settle completely here. Feel your jaw unclench. Your breath deepen naturally. You can let these thoughts drift past without holding them. Sense that soothing heaviness enveloping you, like your consciousness slowly dimming its brightness. Thoughts dissolving into the peaceful fog of approaching sleep, safe and undisturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. You're floating where memories rest safely in gentle darkness. Let your mind merge with infinite peace. And now we begin. Every night, you dream between 4 and 6 times. Sleep research confirms that during a typical 8-hour sleep period, you cycle through multiple stages of sleep, and during each REM stage, which occurs roughly every 90 minutes, your brain generates vivid dream experiences. Most people don't remember these dreams because memory consolidation during REM sleep focuses on emotional processing rather than episodic recall. The dreams you do remember, usually from your final REM period before waking, represent only a fraction of your nightly mental theater. Each forgotten dream contained stories, emotions, and imagery as complex as anything you experience while awake. Your sleeping mind is constantly active, constantly creating, constantly exploring inner landscapes that dissolve like morning mist the moment you open your eyes. Dreams feel real while you're experiencing them. Recent neuroimaging studies show that during REM sleep, the brain's sensory cortices activate almost as intensely as during waking perception. Your visual cortex processes dream images. Your auditory cortex hears dream sounds. And your emotional centers respond to dream events with genuine feelings. The prefrontal cortex, which handles critical thinking and reality testing, shows reduced activity during dreams, which explains why bizarre events seem perfectly normal in the moment. A flying elephant doesn't strike you as odd. A conversation with someone who's been gone for years feels natural. Your brain commits fully to the dream reality, suspending disbelief, accepting whatever unfolds as genuinely happening until you wake and that spell breaks. Most dreams feature everyday settings and ordinary people. Contrary to popular belief, dreams aren't usually filled with fantastical scenarios or symbolic imagery. Contemporary research, analyzing thousands of dream reports, found that approximately 70% of dream content involves familiar locations: your home, workplace, school, or neighborhood, and recognizable people from your daily life. You dream about going to work, having conversations with friends, running errands, Eating meals. The content reflects your waking concerns and relationships. What makes dreams feel strange isn't usually the content itself, but rather the emotional atmosphere, the subtle distortions, the way time flows differently, or how scenes shift without transition. Your dreaming mind takes the familiar building blocks of daily experience and rearranges them in ways that feel simultaneously recognizable and uncanny. You appear in almost all of your own dreams. Dream research consistently shows that the dreamer is present in about 95% of their dreams, usually experiencing events from a first-person perspective. You're the protagonist of your nightly narratives, the center of every story your sleeping mind creates. Sometimes you observe yourself from outside, watching yourself move through dream scenarios, as if viewing a film. But even then, you maintain a sense of identity and agency. This constant self-presence reveals something fundamental. Dreams are inherently self-referential. They're not random neural noise or meaningless imagery. They're deeply personal experiences generated by and for you, reflecting your unique perspective, concerns, and sense of self. Even when you dream of others, you're always there, witnessing, participating, experiencing. Emotions in dreams are often more intense than in waking life. Research from sleep laboratories found that emotional responses during dreams can exceed those experienced during comparable waking situations. Fear in nightmares triggers stronger physiological responses than most real-life fears. Joy in pleasant dreams creates deeper feelings of contentment than everyday happy moments. Grief, anger, love, anxiety, all amplified in the dream state. This intensity occurs because the emotional centers of your brain, particularly the amygdala and limbic system, remain highly active during REM sleep, while the rational, moderating influence of your prefrontal cortex diminishes. Your feelings flow without the usual cognitive filters that modulate emotional responses during waking hours. Dreams become pure emotion, undiluted by reason or social conditioning. The REM sleep periods, when most vivid dreams occur, typically last between 5 and 20 minutes in your early sleep cycles, extending to 30 or even 45 minutes in later cycles as the night progresses. Within each REM period, you might experience what feels like several distinct dream episodes or scenes. Time perception within dreams is notoriously unreliable. Events that seem to unfold over hours might occupy mere minutes, while brief dream moments can feel stretched into eternity. This temporal distortion happens because your sleeping brain processes time differently than your waking mind. With no external clock marking the passage of moments, geography in dreams follows emotional logic rather than physical time, expanding and contracting like breathing. Dreams reflect your current concerns and preoccupations. Contemporary research confirms what psychologists have long suspected. Dream content correlates strongly with your waking life stresses, relationships, and ongoing challenges. If you're worried about a presentation, you'll likely dream about public speaking scenarios. If you're processing a breakup, your ex will appear in various dream contexts. Sleep scientists tracking dream journals alongside daily stress assessments found clear connections between daytime concerns and nighttime dream themes, usually appearing within 1 to 3 nights of the waking experience. Your dreams don't just randomly sample from your memory banks. They selectively focus on whatever your mind is actively working through, whatever emotional material requires processing. whatever questions remain unresolved when you lay your head down at night. You can dream in color or black and white. Interestingly, research shows that people who grew up watching black and white television are more likely to report dreaming in grayscale. While those raised with color media dream predominantly in color. Cross-generational studies found that only about 12% of people under 30 report any black and white dreams, while over 55% of people over 65 report at least occasional monochrome dreams. This suggests that early visual experiences shape your dream palette. Your sleeping brain draws from your accumulated visual memory, constructing dream imagery using whatever color information your mind has stored. Color isn't added or removed. It simply reflects how your memory represents the visual world to itself. Common dream themes appear across all cultures. Despite vast differences in language, religion, and daily life, humans everywhere report remarkably similar dream experiences. Cross-cultural research, examining dream reports from numerous countries, found that being chased, falling, flying, arriving late, losing teeth, and appearing naked in public rank among the most frequently reported dream scenarios worldwide. These universal themes suggest that dreams reflect shared human experiences, anxieties, and desires rather than culture-specific symbols. The emotional core remains the same even when surface details vary. A Japanese businessperson and a Brazilian farmer might dream different settings and characters, but both might experience that sinking feeling of showing up unprepared, of being exposed, of lacking control. Emotions that transcend cultural boundaries. So yes, dreams are already revealing something about your mind by showing us that your sleeping brain mirrors your waking concerns. These first glimpses into dream content demonstrate that your nightly visions aren't random or meaningless. They're deeply connected to your daily life, your emotional state, your personal history, and your current challenges. Every dream pulls from your unique memory bank, reflects your individual perspective, and processes your specific concerns. This is the surface reflection, the most obvious level of what dreams reveal. They show you what you're thinking about, what you're worried about, what you're hoping for. But like any reflection, there are depths beneath this surface, layers of meaning that aren't immediately visible, hidden currents flowing underneath the obvious imagery. You forget most of your dreams within 10 minutes of waking, often more than 90%. This significant forgetting isn't a flaw. It's a protective feature. Research in neuroscience journals suggests that dream forgetting protects your waking memory system from being overwhelmed by internally generated experiences. If you remembered every dream as vividly as real events, you'd struggle to distinguish actual memories from imagined ones. Your brain actively suppresses dream recall through biochemical changes that occur during the transition from sleep to wakefulness, specifically through decreased activity in the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex during REM sleep. The dreams that do stick in memory are usually those interrupted by waking, those with strong emotional content, or those you actively rehearse upon waking. Writing down dreams immediately upon waking improves dream recall over time. Neuroscientists have found that the simple act of recording dreams strengthens the neural pathways between your dream-generating systems and your memory systems. Sleep researchers tracking participants who kept dream journals for several months found that average dream recall increased from remembering fragments of one dream per week to recalling detailed content from 4 to 5 dreams per week. This improvement occurs because you're training your brain to prioritize dream memory formation. You're essentially telling your sleeping mind that these experiences matter, that they're worth preserving. Your brain responds by gradually adjusting its biochemistry to facilitate better dream retention. Memory is always partly about attention, about what you signal as important. External stimuli can weave into your dreams without waking you. The sound of rain might become a waterfall in your dream. A ringing phone transforms into church bells. The sensation of a pet jumping on your bed morphs into a dream of being jostled in a crowded subway. Your sleeping brain constantly monitors your environment for potential threats, processing sounds, temperatures, and physical sensations while you sleep. When these external inputs aren't threatening enough to trigger awakening, your mind incorporates them into ongoing dream narratives. This process, called dream incorporation, reveals your brain's remarkable ability to maintain story coherence, even while processing real-time sensory data. Your dreaming mind is a masterful improviser, seamlessly blending reality with imagination to preserve your sleep. Dreams often feature unresolved situations from your past. That embarrassing moment from high school, that argument with a friend you never fully processed, that opportunity you missed years ago. These unfinished emotional threads resurface in dreams. Research on dream content analysis shows that unresolved situations appear in dreams more frequently than resolved ones, sometimes recurring over years or even decades. Studies found that people who reported more unfinished business in their waking lives had more dreams featuring incomplete tasks, unresolved conflicts, and scenarios requiring closure. Your dreaming mind seems particularly interested in what remains incomplete, as if sleep provides a space to revisit these moments, to explore alternative outcomes, to process the emotions that still linger around experiences that never reached resolution. The people in your dreams represent more than just themselves. While you might dream directly about your mother, your colleague, or your childhood friend, dream researchers increasingly recognize that dream characters often embody qualities, relationships, or aspects of yourself, rather than representing the actual person. When your boss appears in a dream, you might be processing feelings about authority, competence, or professional identity, rather than thinking about your boss specifically. A friend might represent loyalty, or creativity, or a particular life period. This symbolic dimension doesn't negate the surface meaning. Sometimes a dream about your mother is simply about your mother, but it adds layers. The same person might represent different things in different dreams, depending on what emotional work your mind is undertaking that night. Dream settings often blend multiple real locations into impossible combinations. You might find yourself in your childhood home, but it also has rooms from your current apartment. And somehow, it connects to your workplace. And the backyard opens onto a beach you visited once, years ago. This architectural blending reveals how your memory works. Your brain doesn't store locations as photographs, but as networks of associated feelings, sensations, and meanings. A childhood home carries feelings of safety, perhaps, or family dynamics, or particular life stages. When those feelings are relevant to your current dream narrative, your mind pulls in that setting's emotional atmosphere, merging it with other locations that share similar emotional resonances. Geography in dreams follows emotional logic, not physical possibility. Recurring dreams often signal persistent, unresolved issues. When the same dream scenario appears again and again, Perhaps you're back in school taking an exam you haven't studied for. Or you're trying to run but your legs won't move. Your dreaming mind is likely circling around a core anxiety or challenge that your waking self hasn't fully addressed. Longitudinal research found that recurring dreams typically decrease in frequency when people actively address the underlying concern in their waking lives. The exam dream might fade when you feel more prepared and competent in your work. The paralysis dream might diminish when you stop feeling helpless in some area of life. Recurring dreams aren't punishments. They're persistent invitations to look at something you've been avoiding. The bizarre logic of dreams reflects how your memory networks associate information. In waking life, you think linearly. A leads to B leads to C. But in dreams, your thoughts follow associative pathways. A reminds you of B because they share an emotional tone, which connects to C through a visual similarity, which links to D through a verbal pun your conscious mind would never notice. This is why dream narratives often feel coherent in the moment, but absurd upon waking. Your sleeping brain navigates memory through feeling and association, rather than logic and chronology. It's not that dreams are illogical. They follow a different logic, one based on emotional resonance and semantic connections rather than rational causation. The faces in your dreams come from your vast visual memory. While it's difficult to prove whether your brain generates truly novel faces or only recombines features you've encountered, research suggests most dream faces are composites, blended features from multiple real faces you've seen throughout your life. Perhaps the person on the bus, an extra in a movie, a face in a crowd years ago. These faces feel unfamiliar because they're remixed and rearranged rather than exact replicas. Recent studies using facial recognition analysis of drawn dream faces suggest your dreaming mind works with existing visual materials, creating new combinations from stored memories. Even in imagination, you're building from what you've actually experienced. Animals in dreams often represent instinctual or emotional aspects of yourself. A dog might embody loyalty or unconditional love. A snake could represent transformation, a danger, or hidden knowledge. A bird might symbolize freedom or perspective. While these associations aren't universal, cultural background and personal experience shape how you relate to different animals. The general principle holds. Animals in dreams frequently personify qualities or energies that feel primal, instinctual, or difficult to articulate in human terms. Research on dream symbolism found that people consistently attributed personality traits to dream animals that matched their waking associations with those creatures. Your dreaming mind uses animals as a vocabulary for aspects of yourself that exist below the level of words. In the realm of feeling and instinct, dream narratives often lack clear beginnings or endings. You find yourself already in the middle of a situation, already engaged in a conversation, already aware of context you never actually received. Then the dream shifts, or you wake, and there's no resolution. No tidy conclusion. This reflects how your memory works during sleep. Your hippocampus, which normally constructs coherent narratives by linking beginning, middle, and end, operates differently during REM sleep. It focuses on emotional significance and associative connections rather than chronological structure. Dreams are more like poetry than prose, more like a series of vivid impressions than a linear story. The meaning emerges from the emotional atmosphere and symbolic resonance, rather than from plot development or resolution. The emotions you feel in dreams can affect your waking mood. wake from a nightmare, and you might feel anxious for hours. Wake from a peaceful dream, and you carry that calm into your morning. Research tracking mood changes across the sleep-wake transition confirms that dream emotions don't simply evaporate upon waking. They linger, coloring your initial waking thoughts and feelings. This emotional residue reveals that dreams aren't separate from your waking psychological state. They're continuous with it. The boundary between sleeping and waking mental life is more permeable than we often assume. Your dreams influence your days, and your days influence your dreams. In a constant feedback loop, what happens in sleep matters for waking life, and vice versa. Most dreams involve some form of social interaction. Comprehensive analysis of thousands of dream reports found that approximately 75% of dreams include other people, and most involve conversations, conflicts, cooperation, or relationship dynamics. You dream about navigating social situations, reading others' emotions, negotiating conflicts, expressing yourself, being understood or misunderstood. This social emphasis makes sense. Humans are profoundly social creatures, and much of your waking cognitive resources go toward understanding and relating to others. Your dreams continue this essential work, processing relationship dynamics, rehearsing social scenarios, exploring interpersonal conflicts. Even in sleep, you remain fundamentally social, your mind working through the complex dance of human connection that defines so much of your waking experience. Dream content changes across your lifespan. Children dream more about animals and fantastical scenarios. Adolescents dream more about peers and identity exploration. Adults dream more about work, relationships, and responsibility. Older adults dream more about the past and people who have passed away. Research tracking dream content across decades found predictable shifts in themes corresponding to life stages and concerns. Your dreams reflect where you are in life's journey. What challenges occupy your developmental stage? What questions feel most pressing? The mirror of dreams shows not just your immediate concerns, but your position in the larger arc of human development. Your dreams reveal not just who you are now, but where you are in becoming. These observations reveal that dreams mirror your waking life in obvious ways. They feature your daily concerns, your relationships, your emotional preoccupations, your current life stage. This is the surface reflection, the clear correspondence between what you experience by day and what you dream by night. But notice something interesting. Even at this surface level, dreams don't simply replay events. They rearrange, blend, amplify, distort. They take familiar elements and recombine them in ways that feel both recognizable and strange. This selective, creative mirroring suggests something important. Dreams aren't passive recordings of waking experience. They're active interpretations, creative responses, emotional processing. To understand what dreams truly reveal about your mind, we need to look beneath this surface, into deeper waters where the reflection becomes less obvious and more meaningful. Let's pause here and notice your body as you breathe out slowly. Appreciate each tiny cell inside, trillions of organisms working in silence, heart beating, lungs breathing, brain thinking, all without your command. Your body dreams too, in its own way, processing, repairing, integrating, Notice the gentle sensations on your skin, in your muscles, along your spine. You are a complete ecosystem, awake and asleep, always becoming. Now we continue. Dreams help you process emotional experiences from your day. While you sleep, your brain sorts through the emotional events you've encountered, determining which deserve deeper processing and which can be filed away. Research using functional MRI scans showed that the same emotional circuits activated during daytime experiences reactivate during dreams that night. But with a crucial difference: the stress hormone norepinephrine, which naturally rises in your system during challenging situations, is largely suppressed during REM sleep. This allows you to process emotional memories without being overwhelmed by them. Dreams provide a neurochemical environment where you can revisit difficult experiences safely, extracting lessons and integrating feelings without re-traumatizing yourself. Sleep offers emotional resolution that waking rumination cannot. Nightmares often represent attempts to process fear and anxiety, rather than being merely unpleasant. Nightmares gently serve a healing purpose. Studies of people experiencing ongoing stress show increased nightmare frequency, suggesting that your dreaming mind intensifies its processing efforts when you're facing significant challenges. During nightmares, you confront threatening scenarios in a safe environment where actual harm is impossible. This allows your fear circuits to practice responses, to explore different outcomes, to metabolize anxieties that might otherwise remain frozen in your system. Many people who work through difficult life periods report that their nightmares, while disturbing, eventually decrease in frequency and intensity as the underlying issues resolve. The nightmare is the fever, not the disease. Dream amnesia protects your sense of reality. If you remembered dreams with the same clarity and conviction as real memories, you'd face constant confusion about what actually happened versus what you imagined. The selective forgetting that occurs naturally serves an important function, maintaining clear boundaries between internally generated experiences and external events. Research found that people with certain conditions affecting reality monitoring showed different patterns of dream recall, often remembering dreams more vividly, but struggling more with distinguishing them from waking memories. The forgetting isn't a failure of memory. It's a feature that preserves your ability to navigate the real world effectively. Your brain prioritizes functional adaptation over comprehensive memory storage. Dreams integrate new information with existing knowledge. When you learn something new during the day, a skill, a fact, a perspective, your dreams help weave that new information into your existing web of understanding. Research on learning and sleep demonstrates that people who dream about newly learned material show better retention and comprehension than those who don't. The dreams don't simply replay the learning experience, they remix it, connecting new information to related concepts, finding patterns, discovering implications. A musician learning a new piece might dream about music they learned years ago, blending old and new. Your dreaming mind is making associations, building bridges between what you knew and what you're coming to know. Emotional dreams can be more memorable than bland ones. The intensity of feeling acts as a kind of highlighter, marking certain dreams as significant enough to preserve. Neuroscience research shows that emotionally charged experiences, whether in waking or dreaming, trigger stronger memory consolidation through activation of the amygdala. This explains why you might forget countless ordinary dreams, but vividly remember one terrifying nightmare or one deeply moving, pleasant dream from years ago. Your brain treats emotional intensity as a signal of importance. Strong feelings suggest that something meaningful is being processed, something worth remembering. The emotional charge isn't random. It indicates that the dream content resonates with significant concerns, fears, hopes, or unresolved issues. Dreams sometimes solve problems you couldn't solve while awake. The famously documented cases aren't just anecdotes. Research confirms that sleep and dreaming enhance creative problem-solving. Sleep scientists found that people who slept after working on a complex problem were more likely to find novel solutions than those who stayed awake. And those who specifically reported dreaming about the problem showed the highest success rates. During dreams, your brain makes connections that your waking logical mind might dismiss as irrelevant. By loosening the constraints of rational thought, dreams allow unusual associations to surface, leading to insights that feel like sudden revelations upon waking. Sometimes the answer arrives not through more thinking, but through different thinking. The content of your dreams can reflect your physical health. People developing illnesses sometimes report dreams with health-related themes before conscious symptoms appear. This isn't mystical. Your sleeping brain processes subtle physiological signals that haven't yet reached conscious awareness. A slight inflammation, a developing infection, hormonal changes. All these create imperceptible shifts in your body that your dreaming mind might represent symbolically. Dreams of drowning might correlate with respiratory issues. Dreams of paralysis might reflect developing neurological concerns. While dreams shouldn't replace medical diagnosis, research suggests they sometimes provide early intuitive signals about your body's state. Processing information your conscious mind hasn't yet registered, but your deeper awareness has already detected. Dreams can continue processing a problem across multiple nights. If you're working through something complex, a relationship issue, a career decision, an emotional wound, you might have a series of dreams exploring different facets of the situation over days or weeks. Dream researchers tracking ongoing challenges found that dreams often approach the same core issue from varying angles, as if your sleeping mind is circling the problem, examining it from different perspectives, testing different emotional responses. This serial processing suggests sophisticated emotional work happening beneath conscious awareness. Your dreaming mind doesn't give up after one night. It persists, continues, refines its understanding until some resolution or integration occurs. The way you dream about someone reveals how you truly feel about them, not just whether they appear in your dreams, but how they behave, what role they play, what emotions their presence evokes. Research on dream relationships shows that dream interactions often reveal implicit attitudes and feelings that you might not consciously acknowledge. If you dream about someone being threatening, it might indicate underlying distrust you haven't admitted. If they appear helpful and warm, it might reflect positive feelings you've downplayed. Dreams bypass your conscious narrative about relationships, accessing deeper, more honest emotional responses. The dream character isn't really the other person. It's your mind's representation of your feelings about them. Unfiltered by social politeness or conscious denial, stress dreams often feature loss of control, being chased but unable to run, trying to scream but no sound emerges, attempting to dial a phone but misdialing repeatedly. These common anxiety dream scenarios share a theme of helplessness. This reflects your waking experience of stress. which fundamentally involves feeling that demands exceed your resources, that situations are overwhelming your capacity to cope. The dream translates this abstract feeling into concrete scenarios. You're not literally unable to run or speak, but you feel that way about some challenge in your waking life. The dream gives form to formless anxiety, making the internal experience external, visible, tangible. Sometimes recognizing the pattern helps you identify the waking source. Dreams about being unprepared often relate to self-doubt, the classic exam dream, discovering you have a test you didn't study for, or realizing you're supposed to give a presentation you forgot about. Rarely predicts actual unpreparedness. Instead, these dreams typically emerge when you're facing situations that trigger feelings of inadequacy or imposter syndrome. You might be well prepared in reality, but still dream about being unprepared because the dream is processing your underlying fear that you're not good enough, that you'll be exposed as incompetent, that you'll fail despite your best efforts. The dream content reflects the emotional truth of self-doubt rather than the factual truth of actual preparation. Feelings, not facts, drive dream narratives. Flying dreams often correlate with feelings of confidence or freedom. When you dream of soaring effortlessly through the air, rising above landscapes, moving through space with ease, you're often processing experiences or feelings related to mastery, liberation, or transcendence. Research correlating dream content with waking mood states found that flying dreams occurred more frequently during periods when people reported feeling capable, autonomous, and optimistic. The dream doesn't cause the confidence. It reflects it. Your sleeping mind translates the abstract feeling of empowerment into the concrete image of flight. You rise above limitations, move beyond boundaries, experience possibilities that normal life constrains. The flying is metaphor made sensory, emotion given form. Dreams can reveal ambivalence you haven't consciously acknowledged. You might dream about your job being wonderful, and then, in the same dream, watch it transform into something oppressive. You might dream about moving towards someone you love, and then find yourself pulling away. These contradictory dream elements often indicate mixed feelings that your waking mind prefers not to examine. A relationship can be both nurturing and suffocating. A career can be both fulfilling and draining. Most significant choices involve trade-offs, losses as well as gains. Your dreams explore both sides of ambivalence simultaneously, holding contradictory feelings in the same space. This isn't confusion. It's emotional honesty, acknowledging the complexity that waking thought often tries to simplify. The setting of your dream reflects the emotional context of what you're processing. Dark, enclosed spaces might represent feelings of being trapped or depressed. Wide open landscapes might reflect freedom or possibility. Childhood homes often appear when you're processing family relationships or early emotional patterns. Workplaces emerge when professional identity is active. The dream setting isn't random decoration. It's an emotional stage that your mind selects to match the psychological work being done. Analysis of dream settings found consistent correlations between location types and emotional themes. Your sleeping mind chooses environments that resonate with the feelings being processed, creating an appropriate emotional atmosphere for the internal work underway. So beneath the surface reflection of daily events, dreams are processing your emotional life. They're not just showing you what happened, they're showing you how you feel about what happened, what it means to you, how it connects to your deeper concerns and patterns. This is where dreams begin to reveal something more profound than simple mirroring. They show you the emotional reality beneath your conscious narrative, the feelings you haven't fully acknowledged, the connections you haven't consciously made. Dreams translate abstract emotional states into concrete sensory experiences. They take the invisible and make it visible. In doing so, they begin to reveal not just what you think about, but how your mind actually works, how it processes, how it protects, how it seeks understanding. You're still here with me. Thoughts still flickering like candlelight. Just notice. Don't judge. Just notice where your mind is. We're exploring consciousness itself, the very thing doing the exploring right now. If this thoughtful exploration has brought you calm tonight, a gentle like and subscribe helps other sleepless souls discover this peaceful space too. Strange, beautiful, and perfectly calm. Let's drift onward together. Some dream symbols carry personal meanings that differ from universal interpretations. While water might generally represent emotions and houses might represent the self, your specific relationship with these symbols matters more than any dream dictionary definition. If you nearly drowned as a child, water in your dreams carries different weight than it does for someone with neutral water experiences. If your childhood home was chaotic, houses in your dreams evoke different feelings than they do for someone with peaceful family memories. Recent research on dream interpretation found that personal associations predicted emotional responses to dream symbols more accurately than cultural or archetypal interpretations. Your dreams speak your unique language, developed through your unique experiences. Dreams sometimes reveal unconscious conflicts between different aspects of yourself. You might dream about arguing with someone who actually represents a part of you that you're struggling to accept. The authoritarian figure you resist might represent your own need for structure. The reckless character you judge might embody desires you've suppressed. Psychologists have long recognized that dream characters often personify internal conflicts, giving form to abstract psychological tensions. Your dreaming mind externalizes internal arguments, creating characters who represent different values, desires, fears, or beliefs competing within you. The dream conflict dramatizes your internal struggle, making visible the invisible negotiations happening in your psyche. Recurring dream symbols often point toward unresolved psychological themes. If water appears repeatedly in your dreams, emotions might be a central processing theme. If you frequently dream about houses, questions of identity and self-structure might be active. If certain animals recur, instinctual or archetypal energies might be seeking integration. These persistent symbols act like psychological flags, marking areas of ongoing work. Research tracking dream journals over months found that recurring symbols clustered around specific life challenges and often shifted or disappeared once the underlying issue reached resolution. The symbol itself matters less than what it represents for you, what feelings it carries, what associations it triggers, what unfinished business it signals. Sexual dreams don't necessarily reveal sexual desires. While some sexual dreams do reflect erotic interests, many sexual dream scenarios represent other psychological themes: union, creativity, intimacy, power, vulnerability, or the integration of different aspects of yourself. The person you dream about sexually might represent qualities you're trying to integrate rather than someone you actually desire. The context and emotions matter more than the explicit content. Research on dream sexuality found that people often felt confusion upon waking because the dream content seemed to contradict their waking values or desires. This dissonance highlights how dreams use intimacy as symbolic language for various forms of psychological merger. Creation or transformation. Dreams about death rarely predict actual death. Death in dreams typically symbolizes transformation, endings, transitions, or the death of old patterns rather than physical mortality. When someone dies in your dream, it often represents the ending of your relationship with them as it was, or the end of what they represent in your psyche. When you dream of your own death, it usually signals profound transformation, an old identity dying to make room for a new one. Studies of dream content show that death dreams increase during major life transitions, graduations, job changes, relationship shifts, moving to new locations. The death in the dream marks psychological passage, not physical prediction. Lost tooth dreams often relate to concerns about appearance, aging, or personal power. Teeth represent many things: attractiveness, the ability to nourish yourself, aggressive capability, age and vitality. Dreams of losing teeth typically emerge during periods when you feel vulnerable about how others perceive you, anxious about aging, or concerned about losing effectiveness or power in some domain. The specific emotions in the dream matter. If you feel shame, it might relate to social anxiety. If you feel old, it might reflect aging concerns. If you feel weak, it might indicate power struggles. The same symbol carries different meanings depending on the emotional atmosphere surrounding it, revealing what specifically feels threatened or vulnerable in your waking life. Being naked in public dreams usually reflect vulnerability rather than actual exhibitionism. These dreams emerge when you feel exposed, judged, or unprepared in your waking life. Often, everyone else in the dream seems not to notice your nakedness, which reveals an important truth. Your feeling of exposure exceeds others' actual scrutiny. This dream frequently appears when you're starting a new job, entering a new social situation, or revealing something personal. The nakedness metaphorically represents feeling that your defenses are down, that people can see through your social mask to vulnerabilities you usually hide. It's not about your body. It's about feeling psychologically exposed, stripped of protective layers. Dreams often use condensation, combining multiple people, places, or concerns into single dream elements. A dream character might have your mother's face, but speak with your therapist's voice and embody concerns about your daughter. A dream location might blend 3 different houses into one impossible structure. This condensation isn't confusion. It's efficiency. Your dreaming mind packs related emotional material into compressed symbols, allowing you to process multiple connected themes simultaneously. Freud called this dream work, the transformative process that converts complex thoughts and feelings into compact sensory experiences. Understanding condensation helps explain why dream interpretation isn't one-to-one. Single dream elements often unpack into multiple meanings, all legitimately present. Some dreams feel prophetic, but usually reflect unconscious pattern recognition. You dream about a friend you haven't thought about in years, and they call the next day. You dream about a problem at work, and it materializes the following week. These seeming premonitions usually occur because your unconscious mind noticed subtle cues your conscious mind missed. the friend's name mentioned in passing. Small workplace tensions building incrementally. Your dreaming brain, freed from conscious distraction, processes these weak signals and makes predictions based on pattern recognition. The dream feels mystical because you weren't consciously aware of the data it was processing. It's not prophecy. It's sophisticated unconscious inference. Halfway through our journey, the answer is emerging. Dreams reveal your mind by showing not just what you think about, but how you truly feel, what you're unconsciously noticing, what conflicts you're working through, what transformations you're undergoing. The surface reflection, daily events and concerns, conceals deeper waters where symbols carry personal meanings, where characters represent aspects of yourself, where seemingly bizarre scenarios encode legitimate psychological work. Your dreams are your mind talking to itself in a language that bypasses conscious filters and defenses. They're not random noise. They're meaningful processing, emotional problem solving, psychological integration. To understand your dreams is to understand how your deepest mind perceives, processes, and makes sense of your experience. Breathe slowly and let yourself realize something. Even in dreams, you are always you. No matter how strange the landscape, how impossible the logic, the one experiencing the dream, the awareness observing it all, remains constant. That awareness doesn't sleep. It watches your waking life. It watches your dreams. It remains while you transition between them. You are that awareness. Not your thoughts, not your dreams, not your worries, but the silent witness to all of them. Rest in that knowing, and we continue drifting. Your dreams develop a consistent symbolic language over time. If you track your dreams across months or years, certain symbols tend to recur with relatively stable meanings. Your mind establishes its own dream vocabulary. Water might consistently represent emotions for you. Specific animals might always carry similar qualities. Certain people might regularly embody particular roles or energies. Recent research on long-term dream journaling found that individual dreamers show remarkable consistency in their personal symbolic systems. Even as the specific dream scenarios vary, learning your personal dream language requires attention and time. But once you recognize the patterns, dreams become less mysterious. You begin to hear what your sleeping mind is saying. Dreams often exaggerate small concerns into intense scenarios. A minor disagreement with your partner becomes an epic argument. A slight work worry transforms into losing your job. This amplification isn't distortion. It's revelation. Dreams magnify feelings that your waking mind minimizes or dismisses. That small concern might carry more emotional weight than you consciously acknowledge. The intense dream scenario reveals the true intensity of your underlying feeling. By exaggerating, dreams force you to notice what you've been overlooking. They take feelings you've labeled as insignificant and show you their actual psychological size. Sometimes what seems like dream intensity is actually emotional honesty. The emotions you feel during a dream matter more than the content. You might dream about something that should be frightening but feel calm, or dream about something pleasant but feel anxious. These emotional contradictions provide important information. The emotion reveals the true psychological meaning more accurately than the surface scenario. If you dream about a threatening situation but feel peaceful, you might be processing your growing confidence in handling difficulties. If you dream about a celebration but feel sad, you might be working through loss, or change that accompanies the positive development. Always pay attention to how you felt in the dream, not just what happened. Lucid dreams, where you know you're dreaming while still asleep, can reveal your relationship with control. Some people become lucid and immediately try to direct everything, shaping the dream to their will. Others become lucid but allow the dream to continue unfolding, observing with awareness but not controlling. These different responses often mirror waking life patterns. Do you need to control situations? Or can you remain aware while allowing things to unfold? Research on lucid dreaming personality correlates suggests that your behavior in lucid dreams reflects and potentially reveals your general approach to conscious experience, control in daily life. Dreams about being chased often indicate avoidance. Something in your waking life pursues you. A responsibility, a feeling, a decision, a truth, and you're running from it. The dream makes this avoidance literal and urgent. Importantly, research on chase dreams found that people who turn and confront the pursuer in their dreams often report subsequent changes in their waking approach to the avoided issue. The dream invitation is clear. Stop running. Turn around. Face what you're fleeing. This doesn't mean the threat isn't real, but fleeing rarely resolves difficulties. Sometimes the scariest thing is also the necessary thing. Dreams can show you patterns you're repeating unconsciously. You might dream about different scenarios, different people, different settings, different plots. But notice the same basic dynamic playing out. You're always the rescuer. You're always being abandoned. You're always missing opportunities. These repeated dream dynamics often mirror patterns you're living out in waking relationships and situations without consciously recognizing them. Research tracking dream patterns alongside therapeutic work found that people often identified their core relational patterns by noticing what stayed constant across different dreams. The specific details change, but the underlying structure persists, revealing the invisible templates shaping your experience. Dreams about falling might relate to feelings of instability or loss of control. The sensation of falling, that sudden drop, that stomach-lurching descent, appears in dreams when something in your waking life feels precarious. You might be facing uncertainty at work, instability in a relationship, or internal feelings that life is moving too fast and you can't keep your footing. The falling isn't literal. It's your mind's kinesthetic metaphor for psychological instability. Interestingly, you rarely hit the ground in falling dreams. You wake before impact. Perhaps because the dream's purpose isn't to simulate disaster, but to signal that something feels dangerously unstable. The characters who help you in dreams often represent internal resources. When someone in a dream offers guidance, protection, or assistance, they might embody your own wisdom, strength, or resilience. The helper could be someone you know, a stranger, or even an animal or supernatural being. What matters is the feeling they evoke and the support they provide. These figures can reveal resources within yourself that you haven't consciously recognized. The wise elder might represent your accumulated experience. The fierce protector might embody strength you've been afraid to claim. Sometimes healing comes from recognizing help that was internal all along. Dreams about missing transportation often relate to missed opportunities or fear of missing out. You're late for the plane. The train leaves without you. The bus drives away just as you arrive. These dreams typically emerge when you feel you're falling behind, missing chances, or not keeping pace with life's demands. The vehicle represents forward momentum. Progress. The journey you believe you should be on. Missing it triggers anxiety about being left behind. This dream might invite you to examine whether you're genuinely missing important opportunities or simply holding yourself to impossible standards. Sometimes the question isn't how to catch the vehicle, but whether you need to. Dreams can reveal disowned parts of yourself, the qualities you judge in dream characters. Their aggression, their selfishness, their neediness, their wildness might be aspects of yourself that you've rejected or suppressed. Psychological theories of projection suggest that what you most strongly react to in others often reflects denied parts of yourself. Your dreams provide a safe space to encounter these disowned qualities. The aggressive dream character isn't your enemy. It might be your own suppressed assertiveness. The needy person might represent your unacknowledged longing for care. Integration often begins with recognition, with seeing yourself in what you initially perceive as other. The time of night when you dream influences dream content. Early night dreams, occurring during the first REM period, tend to be shorter and more directly related to recent daily events. Late night dreams, during the longer REM periods near morning, tend to be more elaborate, symbolic, and emotionally intense. Dreams just before waking often carry the most bizarre and creative elements. Research tracking dream reports across the night found systematic differences in content, emotion, and coherence, depending on sleep stage and time. Your dreaming mind goes deeper as the night progresses, moving from surface processing to more profound psychological work. Dreams can help you practice difficult conversations or confrontations. You might dream about finally telling someone what you really think, setting a boundary you've been avoiding, or standing up for yourself in ways you haven't managed while awake. These rehearsal dreams serve important functions. They allow you to explore different approaches, to feel the emotions involved, to practice in a consequence-free space. Research shows that people who dream about social challenges show increased confidence and improved performance in similar waking situations. The dream rehearsal isn't just fantasy, it's actual practice, building neural pathways and emotional familiarity that transfer to waking behavior. Dreams about losing someone can help process anticipatory grief. When you dream about a loved one dying or disappearing, especially if they're currently ill or elderly, your mind might be beginning grief work before actual loss occurs. This isn't morbid. It's preparatory. Your dreaming mind allows you to encounter the possibility of loss in manageable doses, beginning the emotional adjustment that major loss requires. Studies of people caring for terminally ill loved ones found that dreams about loss increased in frequency leading up to actual death, suggesting that unconscious processing begins early, preparing the psyche for transformation it senses approaching. Dreams sometimes offer forgiveness you haven't managed while awake. You dream about reconciling with someone who hurt you, or they apologize in the dream, or you simply feel peace about the relationship. While the actual person hasn't changed, something in your internal relationship with them has shifted. The dream isn't wishful thinking, it's processing. Your mind is finding a way to carry the relationship differently, to release some of the anger or pain, to make peace internally, even if external circumstances remain unchanged. Forgiveness often happens in layers. With dreams revealing progress your conscious mind hasn't yet recognized. Contemporary research suggests that dreams can serve as windows into emotional well-being. The themes: emotions, and patterns in your dreams reflect your psychological state with notable accuracy. Increased nightmares correlate with higher anxiety and depression levels. Dreams about helplessness increase during periods of feeling overwhelmed. Dreams about connection and positive social interaction correlate with well-being. Mental health professionals increasingly incorporate dream content into assessment and treatment. Reviews of dream-focused therapy found that tracking dream changes provided reliable indicators of treatment progress. Your dreams don't just reflect your emotional state. They can signal changes in mental health before conscious symptoms fully emerge, offering early indicators that something needs attention. Dreams about houses often represent your sense of self. Different rooms might represent different aspects of your personality or life domains. The basement might represent unconscious material or past experiences. The attic might represent memories or aspirations. Discovering new rooms in a familiar house often occurs during periods of self-discovery or personal growth. The condition of the house, whether it's maintained or deteriorating, spacious or cramped, safe or threatening, reflects your current sense of self and psychological well-being. When you dream about houses, you're dreaming about the architecture of your own psyche, exploring the internal spaces where you live. Dreams can reveal what you truly value. Pay attention to what you're trying to save in dreams, what you're willing to sacrifice, what you're running toward or away from. These dream priorities often reflect your authentic values more accurately than your conscious statements about what matters. You might consciously believe career success is your primary goal. But if you repeatedly dream about rescuing relationships or protecting creativity, your dreams reveal where your deepest values actually lie. There's wisdom in this discrepancy. Your conscious values might reflect social conditioning or ego ideals, while your dream values reflect deeper, truer priorities that guide your unconscious choices. Dreams about journeys often represent life transitions or personal development. The destination you're traveling toward might represent goals or future identities. The companions on the journey might represent relationships or aspects of yourself navigating change with you. Obstacles encountered along the way often symbolize real challenges you're facing in your transition. Dreams about being lost during journeys typically correlate with waking feelings of uncertainty about life direction. Research on major life transitions found that journey dreams increased in frequency during periods of significant change, suggesting that your dreaming mind uses travel metaphors to process psychological movement from one state to another. Your dreams know you're lying to yourself. When you maintain a conscious fiction, telling yourself you're fine with a situation that actually bothers you, or pretending you don't want something you deeply desire, your dreams often reveal the truth. The emotional honesty of dreams cuts through conscious denial. You might insist you're over someone, but dream repeatedly about them. You might claim you're satisfied with your job, but dream about escape or freedom. This isn't the dream being negative. It's the dream being honest. Your sleeping mind doesn't maintain the same self-deceptions your waking mind employs. It shows you what is. Dreams can integrate traumatic experiences gradually over time. After trauma, dreams often initially replay the event directly, sometimes with little variation. This is part of the mind's attempt to process overwhelming experience. Gradually, if healing progresses, the trauma dreams begin to shift. The dreamer gains more agency. The outcome changes. The threat diminishes. Longitudinal research on trauma processing through dreams found that these progressive changes in dream content predicted recovery better than reported conscious symptoms. The dreams were leading the healing, showing integration happening beneath awareness. Your dreaming mind works toward resolution even when your waking mind still feels stuck. Dreams about pregnancy or birth often symbolize creativity or new beginnings, even if you have no desire for actual children. Pregnancy dreams can represent projects gestating, ideas developing, or new aspects of yourself emerging. The birth in the dream marks the moment when something internal becomes external, when potential becomes actual. What is being born? What new creation or identity is emerging? These dreams often occur during periods of significant creative work or personal transformation. The pregnancy metaphor captures the experience of carrying something precious that's growing, that requires patience, that will eventually arrive into the world. Embarrassment dreams often point to shame you're carrying, the public humiliation, the exposed inadequacy, the witnessed failure. These scenarios give form to shame that might be diffuse and unnamed in waking life. Shame thrives in hiding. Dreams that dramatize shameful exposure can actually begin healing by bringing the feeling into consciousness where it can be examined. Research on shame processing found that people who were able to discuss and explore their embarrassment dreams often reported decreased shame intensity over time. The dream isn't creating new shame. It's revealing existing shame and inviting you to address it rather than continue carrying it silently. Dreams about children often represent your relationship with your own inner child. The child in the dream might be yourself at a young age, your actual children, or unknown children. What's happening to the child? Are they safe, endangered, cared for, neglected? Your response to dream children often reveals how you're treating your own vulnerabilities, needs, and younger wounded parts. A dream of rescuing a child might indicate growing self-compassion. A dream of losing a child might reveal fear about disconnecting from playfulness or innocence. The child represents something young and vulnerable within you that requires care. Dreams can rehearse grief before it arrives. If someone you love is aging or ill, dreams might begin exploring loss before it occurs. This preparatory grief work serves an important function, allowing you to begin emotional adjustment in stages rather than all at once. The dreams might initially be subtle. The person seems distant, or you can't reach them, gradually becoming more explicit as actual loss approaches. This isn't prediction, it's preparation. Your unconscious mind, sensing the trajectory, begins the grief process early, offering small doses of loss that make the eventual full experience slightly more bearable because some groundwork has already been laid. Your dreams have taught us that they read your reflection more accurately than your conscious self-analysis. They bypass the defenses, rationalizations, and narratives you construct about who you are and what you feel. They show you what actually matters to you, what genuinely threatens you, what truly brings you joy or sorrow. This is uncomfortable because dreams don't respect your preferred self-image. They show you the whole truth, the contradictions, the denied feelings, the disowned qualities, the real priorities beneath stated goals. But this ruthless honesty is exactly what makes dreams valuable. They're not trying to flatter you. They're trying to show you yourself, complete, unedited, true. You might be feeling tired now. That's perfectly fine. Breathe slowly. Feel the cycles. Your breath moves in and out, a rhythm as old as your first moment. Thoughts appear and dissolve, like waves on a shore. Dreams emerge and fade, remembered, then forgotten. Even awareness itself pulses, waking and sleeping, like your breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. A small cycle within the vast universe. You are also part of that eternal movement. You don't need to hold on to anything. Let everything unfold in its perfect order, like planets silently rotating in their orbits. Unhurried, unresisting, simply existing. We're almost there now. Dreams reveal that consciousness doesn't stop when you sleep. While your body rests, awareness continues, creating experiences as vivid as waking life. This continuity challenges the simple notion that you're either awake or unconscious. Instead, consciousness exists on a spectrum, shifting states, but never truly absent. Even in deepest sleep, some level of awareness persists, monitoring your environment, processing experience, maintaining your sense of existing. You're never truly gone. Some essential you continues throughout. The boundary between dream and reality is less solid than it seems. Memory research shows people sometimes incorporate dreams into their autobiographical memory, genuinely remembering dream events as if they occurred. The feeling of reality in dreams biochemically resembles waking perception. Your brain activates similar networks whether seeing a real tree or dreaming one. This blurred boundary suggests reality might be less about external versus internal, and more about which internal model your brain constructs. Dreams prove you're creative, whether you identify as creative or not. Every night, you generate original narratives, novel imagery, unique combinations of memory and imagination. You don't consciously plan these creations. They emerge spontaneously from your unconscious. This effortless creativity reveals that imagination isn't a special talent. It's fundamental to how your brain works. You're constantly creating, constantly imagining, constantly generating new possibilities. Creativity isn't something you have. It's something you are. Dreams show that meaning is something you create, not something you find. The bizarre scenario, the strange symbol, the emotional atmosphere, none have inherent meaning. They mean what you make them mean through interpretation, through connection to your life, through emotional resonance. Different people could have identical dream images but derive completely different meanings. This reveals a broader truth. Meaning isn't discovered in things. It's created through relationship between consciousness and experience. Your dreams reveal you're never experiencing reality directly. You're always experiencing your brain's interpretation. While awake, you think you perceive the world as it is, but you're actually perceiving your brain's model, constructed from sensory data. Dreams make this obvious because you have complete perceptual experiences. Seeing, hearing, feeling, with no external input whatsoever. The same constructive process operates while awake. You're always dreaming. In a sense, waking is just dreaming constrained by sensory input. Dreams demonstrate that time is subjective. A dream lasting minutes can feel like hours. Complex narratives unfold in seconds of clock time. You can experience your entire life history in a brief dream segment. This time, distortion reveals your experience of duration isn't measuring external absolute time, but reflecting internal psychological processes. Time is something your consciousness creates to organize experience. In dreams, that organization follows different rules. Showing linear time is construct. not immutable reality. Dreams show you that identity flows like water, never truly fixed. In dreams, you might be yourself, yet somehow different. Other ages, other forms, even other beings, while still feeling essentially you. This fluidity isn't dream confusion. It reflects a waking truth. You're not a single frozen self, but an ongoing process, constantly shifting with context, relationships, and awareness. Identity is verb, not noun, always becoming, never simply being one thing. Your dreams reveal memory isn't recording but reconstruction. Dream research shows memories incorporated into dreams are often modified, blended with other memories, emotionally recolored. When you wake and remember the dream, you're creating another reconstruction. And when you recall waking events, the same reconstructive process operates. Every memory is, in a sense, a dream. Creative imagination constrained by traces of actual experience. You're not retrieving the past. You're reimagining it, each time slightly different. Dreams show that emotion might be more fundamental than thought. In dreams, feelings often come first, and scenarios build around them. You feel anxious, and the dream generates threats to justify the anxiety. You feel joyful, and pleasant scenarios emerge. This emotional primacy suggests that even while awake, emotion might drive cognition more than cognition drives emotion. You don't think your way into feelings. You feel your way into thoughts. Dreams make this visible. Your dreams reveal you contain multitudes, the many characters, the contradictory impulses, the different emotional tones. All exist within your single consciousness. You're not one coherent self, but rather a community of sub-selves, various voices, competing desires, different value systems. Dreams stage dialogues between these internal voices, dramatizing internal conflicts. This multiplicity isn't disorder. It's natural complexity of a rich inner life. You are many, pretending to be one. Dreams reveal the pretense. Dreams demonstrate that symbols emerge from depths beyond personal experience. Some dream symbols, the journey, the shadow, the guide, appear across cultures and throughout history, suggesting shared psychological structures. Jung called these archetypes universal patterns in human consciousness. Whether you accept this theory or not, dreams do seem to draw from something deeper than individual memory, something shared, something collectively human. Your dreams connect you to patterns transcending your personal story. Your dreams show consciousness can observe itself. In lucid dreams, you become aware you're dreaming while still dreaming. One part of your mind watches another part create. This self-referential awareness, consciousness, conscious of itself, is one of the great mysteries. Dreams provide a laboratory for exploring this mystery. The observer and the observed are both you, yet somehow distinct. This strange loop, this self-watching, might be the essence of consciousness itself. Dreams reveal your unconscious is not your enemy. The disturbing content, the uncomfortable feelings, the unwanted revelations, these aren't attacks. They're communications from parts of yourself trying to be heard, to be integrated, to be acknowledged. Your unconscious doesn't withhold or deceive maliciously. It speaks through symbol and emotion, because that's its language. When you learn to listen, even difficult dreams are offerings. Attempting restoration, seeking wholeness. Your dreams show healing happens in layers and depths. Surface change is easy. Modify behaviors. Adopt new habits. Change circumstances. But deeper transformation, the kind that reshapes patterns and heals old wounds, happens in places words can't easily reach. Dreams access these depths, working in the dark, processing what conscious effort cannot. Sometimes you wake feeling somehow different without knowing why. That's deep work. Dream work. Transformation beneath awareness. So could dreams reveal what your mind truly is? They already have. They've shown your mind is creative, symbolic, emotional, layered, and far more complex than conscious thought alone. They've revealed you process experience continuously, that you're working toward integration even while sleeping, that beneath surface awareness, deep intelligence operates. Dreams aren't random or meaningless. They're your mind's poetry, your psyche's language, your consciousness talking to itself about itself. What they reveal is you're more vast than waking thought knows. Dreams show you're both the storyteller and the story. You create the dream narrative while simultaneously experiencing it as if it's happening to you. You're the author and the protagonist, the creator and the creation. This dual role that seems paradoxical in dreams is actually true of waking life too. You're constantly constructing your experience while living it, authoring your life story while believing it simply happens to you. Your dreams reveal that acceptance precedes understanding. You don't understand dreams by analyzing them to death, but by sitting with them, allowing them, accepting their strange logic and emotional truth. This same principle applies to much of life. Sometimes understanding comes through acceptance rather than explanation. Some truths can't be grasped intellectually, but must be felt, allowed, integrated at levels deeper than words. Dreams teach this if you let them. Dreams show that vulnerability can be sacred. When you're asleep, all defenses drop. You're completely open, completely unguarded. In this vulnerability, profound processing occurs. The safety of sleep allows deep work precisely because you've surrendered control. Perhaps waking life requires similar moments. Times when you let go of defending, explaining, managing, and simply allow yourself to be seen, to feel, to be vulnerable and open. Your dreams reveal that integration is ongoing, never complete. You're always processing, always growing, always working toward wholeness. There's no final arrival, no moment when all conflicts resolve and growth stops. Dreams continue throughout life because development continues. Each night brings new experiences requiring integration, new feelings needing processing. This endless work isn't failure, it's life. You're not broken for needing continuous integration. You're human, and beautifully, faithfully. Your dreams keep working. Dreams show that rest is active, not passive. When you sleep, you're not simply stopping. You're doing different, but equally essential work. Your body repairs. Your immune system strengthens. Your brain consolidates memories and processes emotions. Sleep isn't absence of activity, but different activity. Necessary and valuable. This reframes rest as productive rather than merely restorative. You're not doing nothing when you sleep. You're doing essential, something that can't happen while awake. Your dreams teach that trust is sometimes wiser than control. You can't control what you'll dream. You can influence it slightly. But fundamentally, dreams emerge from depths beyond conscious manipulation. To dream, you must trust the process. Surrender to whatever arises. This surrender, this trust in something beyond conscious control, might be wisdom worth extending into waking life. Some things don't need controlling to be valuable. Dreams reveal that paradox is natural. You're both free and determined, both creator and created, both one and many. These contradictions don't need resolution. They simply are. Dreams hold paradox easily. You're simultaneously powerful and helpless, familiar and strange, yourself and other. Logic insists paradoxes are problems, but dreams suggest maybe paradox is truth. That reality is more complex than either-or thinking can capture. Your dreams show that darkness isn't always negative. Nightmares, shadow figures, dark spaces, while frightening, they often contain important information, represent needed growth, or process difficult experiences. The dark dream elements aren't simply bad, they're necessary, carrying material that requires integration. Perhaps darkness in general, uncertainty, the unknown, difficult feelings, isn't the enemy. Perhaps it's part of the whole, essential, valuable despite its difficulty. Dreams reveal you're far more than your conscious identity. The person you think you are, your name, your story, your self-concept, is just a small part of the vast consciousness that dreams, that observes, that creates nightly worlds beyond the ego, beyond the personality, beyond the individual story. Something larger exists. Your dreams whisper about this larger reality, this deeper identity. You are more than you think you are. So what do dreams reveal about your mind? Everything. They reveal your fears and hopes, your conflicts and resolutions, your creativity and wisdom. They show how you process experience, how you create meaning, how you integrate the new with the old. They reveal you're deeper than consciousness, wiser than thought, more creative than you know. Dreams are your mind's mirror, but the reflection shows something beyond personal psychology. It shows consciousness itself, witnessing its own mystery. The real change isn't in understanding dreams. It's in understanding yourself. Dreams don't just reveal information. They reveal the revealer. They show the mind that does the showing. By attending to dreams, you're developing a relationship with your deeper self, learning its language, trusting its wisdom. This relationship between waking consciousness and dreaming consciousness, between ego and unconscious, between your surface and your depths. This relationship is where transformation happens, where healing occurs, where you become more whole. The dream isn't the answer. You are, always have been. And so, our quiet journey through the mirror of dreams comes to a gentle close. We've traveled from the surface reflections of daily life to the hidden depths where symbols speak in whispers, discovering along the way that dreams are not mysteries to be solved, but messages to be felt. From the obvious content of chaste dreams and falling dreams to the profound truth that consciousness never sleeps. We've glimpsed how dreaming is both deeply personal and universally human. Dreams remind us that we're never fully known, even to ourselves. Much of who we are happens in silence, in sleep, in depths that words can't reach. They reveal patience, teaching us that understanding unfolds gradually, that integration takes time, that some knowing comes through feeling rather than thinking. Without dreams, we'd lose this nightly conversation with our deeper selves. By pausing to listen, we glimpse the extraordinary truth. We are more vast than waking thought knows. In these final minutes, take the deepest breath you can. As deep as possible, think about consciousness itself. Yours, mine, everyone listening. All awareness, everywhere. Perhaps all connected in ways we don't yet understand. You are not alone in the universe of minds. Every dream you've ever had, every dream anyone has ever had, each one is consciousness exploring itself, knowing itself, becoming itself. Let your entire being dissolve into the ocean of consciousness, into dreamless rest, into the space before thought. Prepare for deep sleep. No boundaries left, only peace. If this thoughtful exploration of the mind made you feel curiosity, connection, or calm tonight, a gentle like and subscribe helps other sleepless souls discover this peaceful space too. It only takes a moment, but it means the world to us. One quiet tap, one sleepy soul at a time. But there's no need to do anything now. Nothing at all. You've traveled far tonight, deeper than most journeys take you. You can allow these thoughts of dreams and consciousness to fade now, like morning mist dissolving in sunlight, leaving only the warm, drowsy calm behind. Allow your breathing to deepen. Allow your body to feel heavier, as if gravity itself has become gentler, as if the earth beneath you is cradling you like a child. If sleep comes, let it carry you like a slow river, smoothly, inevitably, into a realm where time and weight no longer matter, where thoughts dissolve into sensation, and sensation dissolves into nothing at all. If your eyes are still open, the next video is waiting for you, ready to continue the journey. But if they're closed, stay there. Stay in the darkness that feels safe and warm. Tomorrow, your dreams will still be there, waiting to speak to you in their strange and beautiful language. The mirror will still reflect your depths, showing you parts of yourself you've never consciously met. But tonight belongs to stillness. Rest well, dear dreamer, and remember, you are both the dream and the dreamer, both the question and the answer, both the seeker and the found. Fall asleep to gentle psychology. Dream deeper with bedtime science, where mind meets sleep. Good night.